my name is Jae Calanog, and I go by in the b-boy community Jaestalt. Why Jaestalt? Because it's derived from the German word Gestalt, which means a sense of wholeness. And so basically, you know, dancing makes me whole, or it's part of me. I grew up in the b-boy scene when it was focused primarily on power moves. You know, if you're in the West Coast and you started in like 2001 or something, like you will learn power moves first. The hard part about that was that no one was there to really teach you. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have all this technology back in the day, so we kind of just watched VHS tapes and did what we could and just taught each other. In terms of like my identity or my style, I eventually kind of just settled into this style where it's more all about flow as opposed to any other style. Like that kind of just resonated with me. Like I really like, you know, watching other styles. Like for example, I love watching beat writers, I love watching power movers, but just in terms of like me picturing myself as like adopting a style, then that would be like, you know, that flowing kind of style. There's a lot of b-boys nowadays that are basically looking the same and just basically selling out who they really are, what their true identity is as a dancer, just because they want to win jams and because it fits the judges' criteria. And it sucks nowadays that judges, you know, kind of shape the scene. They kind of shape the b-boy scene on what's accepted and what's not accepted. And it's making people, you know, basically go away from their identity, like who they really are. They have to cater themselves to these judges' criteria, right? My personal goal is like, whenever I go out on like the dance floor or whatever, I want people to look at that and be like, look, that's Jae. That's Jae's style. Like no one else's, that's his identity. Basically, you know, you're seeing my creativity, you're seeing my artwork. Kind of dance that it gives you the most freedom on, you know, what it means to be you know? So compared to like other dances like ballet or like ballroom where it's like very restrictive and a lot of rules and a lot of form, b-boying is the kind of dance where like, you know, you can really express who you really are. Aside from b-boying, I'm studying astrophysics, primarily like focusing on these really distant galaxies in the early universe that are forming a lot of stars. So other than that, I'm also co-teaching a calculus course right now at Santa Ana College because I want to be a teacher after I graduate. I also teach the b-boy class at a.k.a. You want to have a transition. It's kind of like when you're writing your essays, right? You want to have a transition from the next paragraph to the next paragraph. Same like here, it's got to be smooth. It's got to be seamless, right? It's not even a question of like what drives me or like why do I want to keep doing this. It's more like because I have so much to do, like I need an outlet. Like I would seriously go insane if I didn't do something like as like a way to basically just release all the stress or something, because whenever I go, you know, that's just a big stress reliever. I'm just myself and I don't have to worry about anything. So it's more of a need than a want. For busy people like us, like understand that b-boying is not your whole life, but just a big part of it, right? And so in that sense that, you know, it's actually okay to put off b-boying for like more important stuff like academics, like work. It's not your whole, it's not the end of the world if you miss practice. The fact that b-boys get the negative stereotype that we're not educated, that we're from gangsters, that we're always related to violence, right? I mean, for me to be able to break and to also get a higher education, I think, you know, the idea that I'm breaking that stereotype. When people look at b-boys, when people look at me, they're just like, oh, I don't expect you to be a b-boy. I don't expect you to be, you know, studying astrophysics. If I can at least convince one person that, you know, b-boys aren't all about like gangsters or, you know, violent people, then I mean, I think I've done my job. Your reasons for dancing, like what are they initially? When I first started, I wanted to learn power moves to impress like my friends. You know, just learn power moves straight up. And you start competing, and then you lose your first jam really bad, and then you start getting hungry, right? And then, you know, you're just like, I gotta redeem myself. Now you start getting hungry, you start training, you enter a lot of jams. You're just dancing to compete. You're just dancing to prove yourself. You're just dancing for the approval of other people. After that, after you like accomplish that, it shifts from like you actually realizing that you actually love this dance and that's why you do it. And you also start helping other people develop that same love that you have for this dance. So you start teaching other people just naturally. As you keep going in this dance, you know, your reasons for dancing become also more mature. The same thing for life, right? I mean, that just naturally happens. Once you get to like college, once you go to grad school, once you get a job, once you have a kid, I mean, all of a sudden, like, instead of like living for yourself, you just start living for other people, where you're actually trying to make their lives better, you know?